All right, lawyer talk off the record on the air. We are back with another Q&A. The questions and answers are flowing, folks. And if you want to check the backlog, go to lawyertalkpodcast.com. We're making updates on that website. And that's where you can submit your own questions. So if you got a legal question, you want me to discuss a topic, you want me to uh, just give you the legal breakdown on something, go to lawyertalkpodcast.com. And I will, you send me a little note. I get it in my email, and then I get to it right here in the studio. We are also just we are speckling the airwaves on all the social media platforms. You'll catch us pretty much everywhere. YouTube, TikTok. Did I say TikTok? Yeah, we're on TikTok. But anyway, answering questions, and people are really liking it. There's other stuff we do too, as part of Lawyer Talk. So check out all of it. I'll jump right in. We have Shane asking a question. He says, "Hey, Steve, is there any way to get a misdemeanor conviction off your record?" Yes, there is. Ohio, for the longest time, and look, we'll sort of talk generally first before I go to Ohio. Most people know the term expungement, and expungement is this like I don't know, a amorphous term that means get it off your record. I guess that's what Shane's asking. Um, excuse me. There may be some more nuances to it though than that. So in Ohio, for the longest time, we only had record sealing. And I used to explain it this way: assume that your record is a bunch of files. And you take those files and you put them in a folder, and you take that folder and you stick it in a safe. And then only certain people have a combination to the safe to see it. Now, most people don't, but certain people do. And the people that would be able to see it would be like courts, if you ever got in trouble again, maybe. Maybe law enforcement might be able to seal it. I shouldn't say see it, seal it. It might be able to see it or have the combination to the safe. If you were to take the bar exam and have to pass something called a character and fitness interview, you would have to disclose anything that's been sealed or expunged for that matter. But the records are still there. They're just sealed from most people's access unless you need like security clearance for the government, a teacher, working with kids, etc. And then you have expungement. Expungement is like taking all those records, putting them in a big stack, shoving them through a shredder, and then they're gone, in theory, gone forever. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that if your record is expunged, you don't have to disclose it. I had a call recently from a client who was being asked a question as part of a job application that required some security clearance. I think it was an IT type job with the government. And they were asking, have you ever been convicted of any crime? And they were saying, even include things that might be expunged or destroyed or sealed or done. And the answer is yes, you have to disclose it, usually with an asterisk or some explanation. They say submit some explanation on a separate form. Now, look, does that mean you shouldn't get your record sealed or expunged just because you might have to disclose it? Of course not. It's still better to have it expunged and it's still better to have it sealed. In most jobs, like if you're just going out into the private sector, having your record sealed or expunged, you can just say no. And in Ohio law, it's actually a crime to treat it in any other way as if it didn't happen. So most jobs, it'll help you. Now, like anything in law, there's lots of exceptions that tend to swallow up the rule. Now the question is, what can be expunged or sealed? In Ohio, anything a felony 3 or below, you can get expunged or sealed. You now some felonies aren't eligible, like if it's an offense of violence, if it's a sex offense. Generally speaking, you cannot get them expunged or sealed, and that's the same as somewhat true with misdemeanors. If you've got a domestic violence, for instance, in theory or generally speaking, not in theory, but in fact, they're one of the lowest levels of misdemeanors, a misdemeanor of the 4th degree in Ohio that you could have expunged or sealed. So there's always exceptions. So I don't know what Shane's misdemeanor is, but he can probably have it expunged and or sealed. And generally for the lower level felonies, you wait a year. For the higher level felonies, you wait 3 years. And I'm talking from the date you're done with the case. Now, that doesn't mean the date you get convicted and you wait 3 years, because a lot of times there's a sentence of probation. Maybe there's fines that you have to pay. You have to be done with all of it, and then the clock starts counting. A couple little pitfalls that people don't always understand. I get lots of calls for folks who want to get a DUI or an OVI in Ohio expunged or sealed. That is a traffic offense, and we cannot expunge or seal traffic offenses in Ohio. So your old speeding tickets, they're always there. They don't always matter, but they're always there. DUIs, always there. You can't get them expunged or sealed. And there's another little pitfall that people sometimes run into, and that is if you have an OVI and a felony that sort of came out of the same facts, like say I got a DUI and I had a gun with me. So I dealt with the gun charge because you hired Palmer Legal Defense upstairs. We did a great job. We got the gun charge taken care of with a misdemeanor, or we got it dismissed. But it happened at the same time as an OVI. Sometimes that, just because it arose out of a traffic violation, it can sometimes cause you hiccups when you're trying to get your record expunged or sealed. We got some workarounds though. So anyway, if I hope that answers your question, Shane, and I hope we sort of covered. It gets complicated, and really maybe the best advice is this: give us a shout. Or give us a call, ask a question, do whatever. Each case is somewhat unique, but for the most part, the law in Ohio has expanded to include expungements. It's a lot better than it used to be. I hope that helps. This is Lawyer Talk, off the record, on the air, taking all questions, at least until now. Hey, Steve Palmer here from Lawyer Talk. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Check us out, all our social media. Like, share, interact, ask your own questions. We're here for you.